Hey guys, welcome back to After Credit Movie Chats. I'm your host, Dean Thomas. And normally I'd like to have a little bit of fun on this show, but today I thought I'd address a little bit more of a serious issue that seems to be going around in the movie world right now. And that would be the lack of diversity right now in the Oscars, and a lot of the blame the Oscars and the Academy in general is getting about the lack of diversity. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that I am indeed a white male. I'm not sure whether or not that really plays into my opinion at all, but I do want to be open and honest with you guys, and it's very possible that due to that, my opinion may be swayed one way or another compared to yours. I don't know. Just like I said, wanted to be honest with you guys, maybe get that out there to start with. But getting down to my opinion and all of this stuff about is the Oscars really racist? Are they not electing and nominating the minorities and being diverse in their nominating? And the way I look at it is that this is not a problem of the Oscars, because when I look at the list, because both last year and this year they're talking about the two major acting categories, or four, I guess I should say, of best actor and actress and then best supporting actor and actress. The past 2 years, they've all been white actors and actresses. Now, I don't believe that the Oscars is necessarily the problem, because when I look at the list of each of the nominees, especially this year, because that is the most relevant at this point in time, I don't see I don't see a single name on those lists that would say, oh man, somebody really got left out, somebody really got snubbed. Everybody on the list deserves to be there, and that's one of the reasons I don't think this is the Oscar thing. They didn't nominate anybody that wasn't deserving in order just to fill the spot, so they didn't have to nominate a minority. And I think it would be wrong of them to nominate a minority if they didn't deserve it, because that's not fair to anyone as a human being. I don't believe that's fair. I believe it should go to the person that is most deserving for their performance, regardless of their skin color, their cultural background, any of that. So that's my one take on it. And then the other piece to me that's also very important is, obviously all these actors and actresses are deserving, and I don't think you can take a single name off that list and really call anything out, but I think the major problem lies in Hollywood casting and movie casting. I don't think it's the fact that these actors got nominated for these roles, but the fact that minorities are not being given these roles. They're not being given the opportunities to take on these roles, to deliver these sort of quote-unquote Oscar performances that normally get this kind of buzz for the Oscars. I think the problem is in the Hollywood casting, that mainly these big films, in order to sell themselves to the mass audience, attempts to go what they think audiences will relate to best. Therefore, they are casting strictly white actors and actresses. So I think that the major problem lies in the casting process, of where minorities are not being given the proper chances, their fair chances to get these roles, so they can deliver these amazing performances on a greater scale, to where they would be getting these kind of buzz. And I think that's where the major problem lies. And then I've also heard some people, because my friend brought this topic up to me again, which is why I thought I would share my opinion, because it's been everywhere. But the other thing too is, even looking at the Best Picture nominees, there was eight movies nominated for that this year, and I think one of the things people had is most of these movies revolved around mostly white cast, and the fact that a lot of these are true stories, I don't know if you can blame them for that necessarily, because the characters in it were based on people in real life who happen to be the race that they are. But even if you look at The Revenant, there's a very strong Native American presence in that movie, so I don't know if you can claim that. But a big name I had heard is, a lot of people want to say, well, why wasn't Creed in there? No, I loved Creed. I'm a Rocky fan, and I loved Creed. But when I look at these lists, I think they just happen to beat it. Now, this is where it's hard, because it's a very subjective thing. Your opinion is your opinion, and you're entitled to it. And in my opinion, and obviously the opinion of the Academy, Creed wasn't quite up to that caliber. Now, I would argue that I would have liked to maybe see Creed in there over Bridge of Spies. Now, I think Bridge of Spies is a really good movie, but I think it made the list more so because it is a true story, which the Academy likes to nominate more often than not, and it was also starring, I should say, Tom Hanks, and it was directed by Steven Spielberg. And I think, as a lot of people have noticed, the Academy tends to nominate people based on on their career achievements over an individual performance at times. And once again, that has nothing to do with race or anything like that. That is just a simple bias that the Academy has, and I would like that to change, but I don't think that came down to race. I don't think Creed didn't get nominated because of race. I think the Academy simply awarded these other films for being, in my opinion, and they're slightly better, and maybe Bridges Spice snuck in there because of Spielberg being attached to it being a true story. Now, maybe you felt it is deserving, and that's clearly understandable. It is a good movie. Personally, I just would have liked to see something else. And then the last thing I wanted to address is because we're starting to see some boycotts, which I don't think is really going to change much. Although I think it has sent a statement because the Academy has announced they're going to attempt to diverse their voting base, which I believe the percentage came out as about 94% white males. Now that obviously needs a change, and I think it will. And I don't know if that's necessarily the problem in the diverse, but it definitely could play a factor, and that does need to change. Once again, giving people opportunities, and I think more people need an opportunity to take part in the voting process. And then also with the boycotting is one of the big things I think was that Will Smith and his wife Jada Pinkett Smith were going to boycott. One, because obviously they're being African Americans, they felt it might have been the responsibility, and I do think I could be completely off base here. I do think part of it played in the fact that Will Smith did get left out of the Best Actor category. Now, this is going back to my first point of nobody on that list doesn't deserve it. They all deserve it. And I think, based on your opinion, you could easily slip Will Smith in there. But I think you can't say, oh man, he was a major snub. How the heck did they leave him off? He was the front runner to win it. I don't think you can say that. So that's where I don't think it's a racial issue or anything like that. I think it simply came down to the Academy felt the other 5 names on the list just happened to beat out Will Smith. So there you guys have it. There's my major opinions on this whole the white Oscar problem, as they're calling it. I really don't think the problem lies in necessarily the Academy. I do think we need to get some more diverse Academy members in there for the voting process, because that would just better represent our population as a country. But so that needs to change. I think all the names on the list are deserving. So I think the real problem lies in Hollywood movie casting, where these minority actors are not necessarily being given the same opportunity to take on these major roles that could get them Oscar nominations. So there you guys have it. I would love to hear your guys' opinions down in the comments below or on Twitter. You can find me at AC Movie Chats. You can get all the latest movie news and reviews right there. But I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on this very touchy and very relevant subject right now. Just laid out all the opinions of myself. So I would like to know, do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you have a different point of view on it? And do you have just a completely reverse look at all these things? As I said, maybe the fact that I am a white male could give me a different point of view on all this. So I'd like to hear you guys' opinions, what you think. Let's just have a conversation about this, because I think that's the important thing, is the fact that we're having this conversation, and that's what will help bring about change, and I think that's the most important thing. So there you guys have it. Those are my opinions on this whole white Oscars thing. Hopefully we start to see some changes sooner rather than later. Like I said, let me know your thoughts. And follow us on Twitter at AC Movie Chats. You'll get all the links to my website, aftercreditmoviechats.wordpress.com. Jump in the comments, like I said. Leave me your opinion, and we'll see you here back next time.